On the hardest days, when it feels like the weight of the world is on our shoulders, Stoic philosophy offers a path to peace and wisdom, helping us face adversity with inner strength and balance. While we're constantly impacted by factors outside our control, unexpected events or turbulent emotions, Stoicism teaches us to find serenity amid chaos by turning inward and cultivating a tranquility that doesn't rely on external circumstances. Ancient Stoics like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius lived in complex times and found that by focusing on what we can control and accepting what lies beyond our power, we can build a resilient mind capable of handling any situation. These teachings, which have endured through the centuries, remain timely and profoundly useful. Today, we'll explore 10 Stoic principles for challenging moments. These are simple yet powerful practices that can change the way we perceive and respond to difficulties. By adopting these principles, we open ourselves to a fuller, more peaceful life, regardless of external circumstances. Here are 10 Stoic teachings, rephrased and expanded, to help us navigate difficult days with clarity and focus. Calm the mind with silence. Amid daily hustle and an overload of stimuli, cultivating silence can restore mental clarity. Stoics believe that silencing the outside world helps us organize our thoughts and face our emotions with calmness. Take brief moments throughout the day to reflect in silence, noticing how this practice reduces restlessness and helps restore inner peace. Focus on the present moment. For Stoics, the past is unchangeable, and the future is uncertain. The practice is to make the most of the present, the only moment we can truly control. When we are fully here and now, we can act effectively without being overwhelmed by regrets or anxieties. Keep your attention on what is in front of you today. Accept what cannot be changed. Some situations are beyond our control, and trying to change them only creates frustration. Stoics teach us to wisely accept what we can't control, allowing us to focus on what we can actually influence. Acceptance reduces suffering and enhances our ability to adapt. See difficulties as opportunities for growth. Facing challenges is inevitable, but Stoics viewed these hardships as paths to improvement. Rather than avoiding adversity, use it as a practice to strengthen resilience and deepen self-awareness. Every obstacle can be a chance for personal development and self-mastery. Practice daily discipline. Stoics valued consistency and self-discipline as essential elements to staying focused even on the most challenging days. Build the ability to follow through on your intentions, even when motivation wanes. Daily actions, done with commitment, lay a solid foundation of self-control and confidence. Avoid getting lost in judgments and labels. Stoicism teaches us to observe reality as it is, without overinterpreting it. Judging situations as good or bad can prevent us from seeing things objectively. Try to view situations without categorizing them. This helps approach them rationally and calmly. Maintaining inner peace. Value your inner strength. Instead of seeking satisfaction in fleeting or external things, Stoics guide us to nurture an inner source of happiness that remains intact even in adversity. This strength, grounded in our values and principles, shields us from the impact of external events and keeps us steady. Accept life's impermanence. Everything is temporary. The Stoic understanding of impermanence teaches that events, no matter how painful, are fleeting. Recognizing that both hardships and joys are transitory gives us a fresh perspective on life, helping us handle loss and setbacks more gracefully. Be grateful for what you have now. Gratitude is an important Stoic practice. By focusing on the positive aspects already present in our lives, we avoid resentment and foster contentment. Instead of longing for what's far away, appreciate what you have in the moment, increasing your satisfaction. Use self-questioning to strengthen resilience. Regularly ask yourself how you are responding to challenges. This habit, taught by philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, helps cultivate a steadier, more focused mind. Evaluating your reactions strengthens adaptability, making it easier to face the next challenge with wisdom and calm. These Stoic principles offer a practical path to inner peace and resilience, helping us not only to withstand tough times but to emerge from them with greater wisdom and strength. These 10 Stoic principles offer a path toward strength and balance when facing adversity, encouraging a mindful approach where serenity is cultivated, and the mind finds harmony even in the most Challenging situations. By adopting these principles, we begin to see life with renewed clarity, understanding that challenges and adversities are opportunities to exercise our inner strength and growth potential. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate the beauty of each moment, even in times of difficulty, and to focus on what we truly have the power to change, our attitudes and responses. This way of life means letting go of the relentless search for external validation and concentrating on the peace that comes from living by our own values and virtues. By putting these teachings into practice, we become more aware of our choices and more willing to act with intention. Every decision is guided by wisdom, acceptance, and the desire to reach an unshakable state of tranquility. Stoic practice is not about eliminating emotions but about learning to handle them constructively and with balance. When we allow ourselves to feel each emotion without being ruled by it, we develop a clarity that helps us respond calmly, even in the most challenging circumstances. Sadness and discouragement, for example, cease to be obstacles and become moments of self-discovery, revealing what we truly value. In this process, gratitude plays a central role. Appreciating what we already have, recognizing the value of small victories, and finding meaning in the everyday are attitudes that bring us closer to genuine happiness. Through gratitude, we free ourselves from external pressures and comparisons, achieving a satisfaction that doesn't rely on circumstances. As we incorporate these teachings into our daily lives, we experience a profound transformation in how we view life. Stoicism offers us a path to peace and balance amidst chaos, leading us to a life marked by simplicity, self-control, and serene acceptance of aspects of life that are simply beyond our reach. Cultivating this philosophy is, ultimately, an act of liberation. Understanding that what matters is our reaction, not what happens, grants us a rare and valuable freedom. It is a journey of discovery and self-improvement, where each challenge we face becomes an opportunity to grow stronger and connect more deeply with our essence. In this way, Stoicism guides us toward a full, mindful life, where every choice, every action, and every moment of reflection brings us closer to a peace that no circumstance can shake. The pain we feel is not a measure of who we are but a reflection of the challenges that cross our path. Stoicism teaches us to separate our true self from the burdens we carry, reminding us that despite obstacles and hardships, our essence remains intact and unchanged. The strength of Stoicism lies in the ability to choose how we respond to these challenges, using each experience as a chance for growth, not as a verdict on our identity. Just as a backpack full of stones weighs on our shoulders, each adversity is something we can learn, with time and practice, to carry more lightly or even set down. Instead of being defined by the stones in our path, we are shaped by the courage and resilience with which we face them. This is the transformative power of Stoic philosophy, teaching us that while difficulties are an inevitable part of life, they do not define who we truly are. For Stoics, resilience goes beyond merely enduring burdens. It is a practice of adaptation and transformation. By approaching challenges as opportunities for learning, we allow ourselves to grow and strengthen our minds. Each obstacle we confront with clarity and resolve brings us closer to a state of deeper understanding and inner peace. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, said that suffering doesn't come from events themselves but from how we interpret them. Thus, by changing our perspective on the burdens we carry, we can lighten them and even turn them into sources of motivation. In his reflections, Marcus Aurelius reinforces this idea, saying that what stands in the way becomes the way. This teaching reminds us that obstacles, rather than being mere barriers, can be guides for our personal growth. The weight of difficulties is not an endpoint but a means to a deeper understanding of ourselves. By learning to carry, and eventually to release, the weight life places upon us, we rediscover our strength and cultivate a wisdom that accompanies us at every step. Stoicism shows us that, while burdens are part of the journey, we are always greater than they are, and our essence is far more powerful than any obstacle we might face. Embracing emptiness as preparation for something new is the first step toward true transformation in Stoicism. By welcoming this emptiness, we learn that it is not something to be feared but a state that prepares us for renewal, a moment when all illusions fall away, revealing our essence and truest needs. This process leads us to a profound discovery of who we really are. By stripping away everything that once occupied our time and thoughts, emptiness brings us face to face with our most intimate truths. It is in this introspective state that we perceive what brings us real meaning and genuine drive. Often, when experiencing emptiness, we realize we have been guided by desires and goals that didn't reflect our true essence but rather external expectations or passing illusions. When we begin to accept emptiness, we also start the process of freeing ourselves from external influences and illusions. We allow this empty space to show us what we truly value, what is essential to us. This clarity can be painful at first, often revealing that we must let go of things we once thought fundamental. However, this initial pain is the price of freedom and inner peace, a path that leads us to a more authentic life aligned with our own values. The Stoics viewed this transitional phase as a necessary renewal to strengthen both mind and spirit. Like a seed, we too have the potential to germinate and flourish after a period of darkness. Instead of fearing emptiness, it should be seen as a pause granted by life for us to reassess and then be reborn. This rebirth is not a superficial transformation but a deep change that resonates throughout all areas of our existence. By accepting emptiness as a natural part of our journey, we learn to trust the process and believe that, at the end of this phase, we will find new meaning. It's not about filling the void with temporary distractions, but about exploring its depth and discovering who we are beyond pain and loss. When we emerge from this process, we are reborn with a new understanding, more grounded and ready to face the challenges yet to come. Thus, Stoicism teaches us that emptiness is not a sign of defeat but an invitation to growth. It helps us recognize that moments of darkness and silence, rather than being something to avoid, are necessary intervals that prepare us for new phases in life. Facing emptiness with courage and acceptance is one of the deepest Stoic teachings, reminding us that no matter how much life places us before loss and change, there is always a way back to light. At the end of this journey, when we look back, we realize that emptiness was, in fact, a passage into a new chapter, one where we are more aware, stronger, and more connected to our true nature. This experience transforms us and prepares us to embrace life with greater wisdom and a serenity born from the understanding that everything is transient and, at the same time, valuable. By going through this transformation, we begin to appreciate every aspect of existence with greater depth. Stoicism teaches us to see that pain, emptiness, and challenges are as essential as moments of joy and achievement. Each of these states brings us closer to a broader and more complete view of life, revealing that it's precisely in the sum of these experiences that we find the true meaning of our journey. This new perspective makes us more resilient and helps us build a solid foundation of self-knowledge and self-mastery. By learning to deal with emptiness and accept the impermanence of things, we develop a kind of inner peace that does not rely on external circumstances. It's a tranquility that comes from within, strengthened by the understanding that nothing is permanent and that every experience, good or bad, has a purpose in our development. Stoicism, by emphasizing control over our own reactions and acceptance of what we cannot change, guides us to cultivate practical wisdom. With this wisdom, we distance ourselves from illusions and live more intentionally, focusing on what truly matters and what is within our power. Every challenge, every moment of loss or difficulty, becomes an opportunity to practice this virtue and strengthen our ability to face life with dignity. This new understanding leads us to adopt an attitude of gratitude, even in adversity. When we understand that emptiness is a transitional stage and that each challenge holds a hidden lesson, we begin to appreciate these moments of growth. We view hard times not as punishments but as stern teachers preparing us to live more consciously and fully. Gratitude, in this context, is a way to recognize the value of each experience and to embrace life in all its complexity. With this gratitude, we expand our ability to appreciate the small moments, encounters, daily achievements, and even the silences. We come to realize that even on the darkest days, there is something we can be grateful for. This shift in perspective offers us a new way of living, where each day is valued simply because it exists, providing us with a chance to learn, to grow, and to become a more complete version of ourselves. Finally, by integrating these Stoic teachings, we discover that true freedom lies in accepting life as it is, with its changes, challenges, and uncertainties. This acceptance frees us from the unnecessary burden of struggling against what we cannot control and allows us to focus our energy on what truly matters: the development of our character, the building of meaningful relationships, and the cultivation of inner peace that sustains us in any circumstance. Thus, Stoicism is not just a philosophy for times of crisis but a guide for a lifetime, constantly reminding us that true strength lies in the serenity with which we face adversity and in the ability to transform even the emptiest moments into times of rebirth and growth. At the end of this journey of self-knowledge and acceptance, we become stronger, more aware, and more capable of living with purpose and balance, embracing each aspect of life as a unique opportunity for growth. At the end of this Stoic journey of acceptance and resilience, we find ourselves in a deeper state of connection with who we truly are. This philosophy, which guides us to face both the bright and dark days with dignity and balance, transforms our perception of what it means to live fully. Stoicism prepares us to embrace life with a quiet courage, knowing that the true value of existence lies not in the absence of difficulties but in the way we face and overcome them. The understanding that control rests solely in our reactions, not in external circumstances, is what allows us to build a solid and unshakable inner foundation. This foundation is formed by our values, principles, and virtues, which become anchors in turbulent times. When everything around us seems uncertain or chaotic, we return to these anchors and find a place of serenity where we can seek refuge, an inner fortress built over the years and strengthened by each experience lived with awareness and intention. This Stoic approach to life also teaches us to respect the natural flow of events, without forcing change where we lack power. We recognize that there is a universal order, a natural sequence of things, and that constant resistance to this order only causes more suffering. By accepting the flow of events and focusing on what we can indeed influence, we achieve an inner peace that transcends any external turmoil. With this peace, we begin to look to the future with a mixture of serenity and responsibility. Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot predict what lies ahead, we have the power to prepare ourselves to face any situation with prudence and courage. Each moment lived with awareness becomes preparation for the next. Each obstacle faced becomes a lesson we carry with us, ready to apply it in the challenges still to come. This philosophy also reminds us of the power of community and the interconnectedness between human beings. As we become more aware of our own challenges and lessons, we grow more compassionate and understanding of others' struggles. We develop a quiet, steady empathy, for as we strive to live in harmony with our principles, we learn to respect the journeys and efforts of those around us. Stoic wisdom is not just an individual pursuit but a path that strengthens the collective, for by becoming better versions of ourselves, we inspire and support others in their own search for peace and balance. Ultimately, Stoicism leads us toward a meaningful life where each experience, even the hardest, is embraced as an opportunity for growth. With this philosophy as our guide, we cease to fear change and begin to see each new beginning as an invitation to evolve. By embracing this practice, we understand that life, in all its unpredictability, is the greatest teacher, and that true triumph lies in living with serenity, purpose, and the certainty that, regardless of highs and lows, our essence remains intact and ready to move forward, wiser and stronger than before. By embracing Stoicism as a life philosophy, we come to realize that the true value of existence lies in living with integrity, regardless of the circumstances we face. This journey teaches us to honor each experience, whether light or heavy, with the same acceptance and serenity. Stoic practice, rather than simply preparing us to face hardships, empowers us to find meaning and purpose in every situation, living fully and mindfully, no matter the challenges. Finally, Stoic wisdom leads us to genuine freedom, the freedom not to be enslaved by external circumstances, but to be the authors of our own reactions and choices. We start to live with the clarity that, although we cannot control what happens around us, we have complete mastery over who we become in response to each experience. And it is this freedom that allows us not only to endure difficult times but to flourish through them, with a peace and resilience that no obstacle can shake. With Stoicism as our guide, we are ready to face life with dignity and determination, living with the assurance that, at the end of each day, we have stayed true to our values and principles. This is the true legacy of a Stoic life, the certainty of having lived authentically, regardless of circumstances, and having faced the journey with courage, wisdom, and deep gratitude for the opportunity to grow at every step. In this way, we conclude that Stoicism not only teaches us how to live well but also how to live with purpose and peace, until the very last moment. And that is the greatest gift we can give ourselves and the world. On difficult days, Stoic philosophy offers us clear and practical guidance to find strength and serenity. First, seek inner silence to calm the mind. Take a moment to observe your thoughts without letting them take control. Focus on the present, avoiding the pull of past memories or fear of the future. Face what is within your control with resolve and let go of what you cannot change. Accepting what we cannot alter helps us act more effectively on what truly matters. Remember that suffering and emptiness are transient. They do not define who you are but can be transformed into opportunities for growth. Instead of resisting discomfort, embrace it as part of life, recognizing that each challenge carries a valuable lesson. Sadness and pain, though intense, are temporary, and by facing them, you become more resilient. In difficult times, keep in mind the importance of gratitude. Even in the darkest phases, try to appreciate what remains positive around you, no matter how small. This practice helps us find greater meaning and reminds us that, no matter how challenging the situation, there is always something to be thankful for. Lastly, act with purpose, even if the action is small. Completing small tasks with intention and clarity helps us regain a sense of control and meaning in our day. Don't underestimate the power of a small step. It is the foundation on which we rebuild our balance and move forward. On hard days, Stoicism reminds us that by focusing on what's within our reach, staying calm in chaos, and seeking wisdom in each experience, we can weather any storm with dignity. This daily practice of looking inward, accepting the present moment, and acting with firmness and calm is the greatest legacy the Stoics have left us. It is an invitation to live, even in the darkest times, with strength, purpose, and a peace that only true wisdom can offer. By following this path, we find that difficult days, instead of being periods of pain or suffering, become portals of transformation and self-discovery. In moments when everything seems dark, Stoicism teaches us to cultivate an inner light, a strength that does not rely on external circumstances. Practicing this philosophy, we understand that even on the worst days, we can still do something to reconnect with our purpose and face difficulties with dignity. When sadness and discouragement try to take over, remember that these feelings are part of the human experience, not something we must escape. Allow yourself to feel them, but without identifying with them. Acknowledge them but don't get lost in them. Direct your attention to what you can do, to the small actions that, combined, renew your energy and strengthen your mind. With each step, however small, you reaffirm your control over what is in your hands and start building a solid foundation of resilience. On tough days, the Stoics remind us of the importance of keeping perspective. Remember that nothing is permanent. Sadness, fear, and doubt will pass. What remains is the wisdom we gain by facing these moments with courage. Each adversity, no matter how harsh, reinforces our capacity to endure and keep moving forward, and it is through this perseverance that we become stronger and more aware of our potential. Allow yourself to simplify on these days. Take time to care for yourself, seek silence, and reflect on what truly matters. Look for activities that bring you back to the present, whether it's reading, walking, or even a period of quiet reflection. These acts, though simple, have the power to restore our balance and mental clarity. In the end, Stoicism teaches us that difficult days are not enemies to be avoided but teachers to be accepted. They offer us a chance to grow, to strengthen our minds, and to refine our character. The daily practice of looking within, acting with intention, and accepting what we cannot control transforms these moments into sources of renewal and self-development. And in doing so, we discover an inner strength that sustains us, allowing us to weather any storm with serenity and dignity. So, in every tough day, in every challenge, remember there is a part of you that remains untouched, a core essence that, guided by Stoic teachings, can always find peace and clarity, no matter what happens around you. This is the Stoic legacy, to live with courage, with purpose, and with the wisdom that each difficulty is an opportunity to grow and to come closer to the best version of yourself.